And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to the B stream of DreamHack Masters Malmö. We're still in the initial games of the group stages. I am Dust. Who will be with me is Vince, but he's not here right now. Had some internet issues again, so unfortunately I'll have to do some solo casting here for just a bit. But hopefully we'll have Vince in here soon so you can hear his sweet, soothing play-by-play. Actually, he got fired because he was talking about touching butts, so that's actually what happened. I was trying to cover for it, but I can't tell any lies. So he may or may not be back. Of course, I am kidding. He will be back, but not for right now. So we're on train. I haven't even seen Mousesports play since they grabbed Sunny and Sticko, so I'm curious to see what they bring to the table. Obviously, Gambit, a great train team. Won it twice at the major to win it all against Astralis and Immortals, but some changes in their own right. Adren has to call and Fitch is a new player, but Mousesports is looking to pour into this outer bomb site as quickly as possible, and they have made some headway. Though it is an equal exchange, and this ladder flank could come in if Rops isn't careful. Actually, Dozia thinks better of it, and will decide to flank through T Connector. In the meantime, Chris J has put the odds in the favor of Mouse. 3-on-2 post plant now. Adrenaline Z, Dozia is still trying to make this flank work at T-Con. Rops is focused on the ladder room, and so there's a chance that Dozia might be able to catch this player off guard, Chris J, but Chris J drops into the sandwich, and Dozia will not be able to have an impact, and Oscar cleared out Adren, so well played by Mousesports across the board. An aggressive play on the outer yard yields in the pistol. They are now up 1-0. With that in mind, we will see Gambit buying up head armor and pistol across the board. No one actually taking the save sacrifice for an op in the opening gun round, so that could come back to be a talking point. Unless Gambit can pull this one off, then that would be what really matters here, as Dozia is going to be soloing here inside inner, a stack towards the outer bomb site. Fitch playing up close on ladder room. Of course, he is a newcomer to the team. Will be tested here today at Malmö as Sunny does sneak through Ivy with the Galil. He's done a lot of damage to Adren and finishes the job. Mo, though, stepping up with the CZ. He's found a couple of kills, including the bomb carrier. He gets it down in T-Connector. He's low on HP. That nade just might finish him off, and it does. So Sunny will be able to perhaps claim this bomb back, but Fitch is still lingering around the ladder room here, and he's actually kept him up a man and put a Galil in his hands. And remember, he has that head armor. So he certainly could be quite the nuisance. He will get smoked, but he actually peeks before it blooms and gets vision on Sunny. Gets the kill and even comes out the smoke. He could make a huge individual effort here, and he does. He takes out Sticko, so the newcomer, he gets the job done. And I will say, despite the fact that Gambit have had their struggles online, including getting beat out by AGO in the E-League qualifiers and also being unable to qualify for New York, it's a loss to Envious, I believe that was. Fitch actually individually did look pretty sharp. He's taking over a lot of roles on T side from Adren, who's in-game leading now. And he's kind of doing a little bit of entry work. But that round on the CT side, he made a big play inside ladder room. So props to him. Brings one over early to the Gambit side. Mousesports, they will buy into this. They have Sticko actually with AK head armor. The one man that has a full buy. Everyone else is just pistols. One Deagle in the mix on Oscar, who also has head armor. So doing a bit of a force back, but not forcing everyone to buy. Meantime, Dozy does get aggressive in inner halls with Adren. They clear it out into the bathroom, so a lot of information as well as a man advantage in this round now for Gambit. As Fitch will hold T-Con from above the train, but he gets tapped out by Sticko. That solo AK comes in for an entry, but it's quickly traded. And now Adren's even flanking behind with the SMG. Gets the bomb down and finishes off the round. 2-1 for Gambit. As they do get the momentum rolling here just a bit. Mousesports still in somewhat saving territory. Maybe you see a few upgraded pistols sprinkled around, but no, actually, they're just going to go ahead and buy everything that they can. They'll get the Scout in Chris J's hands, AKs on Sunny and Sticko, Rops with the Galil, and again, Oscar going to be on Deagle armor. So basically, Sticko and Oscar in the same boat they were last round, but they have a bit more around it as well. As this time around, Gambit will have a little bit more firepower to fight against. Mousesports looking to slow things down and play a bit default, but they try to force through a smoke grenade, and Hobbit punishes them for it big time. Oscar just stepped out there alone, and the repercussions are going to be pretty serious for them in over at Mousesports, as now they have to play a 4-on-5 early in a round that they were already strained to put guns together. Mo finding Chris J up top here, so it's a 5-on-3, and Mousesports are starting to crumble here a little bit, Vince, as he just joins us.
Dozia just on the coils, ready to strike with one headshot, looking for a second, not going to happen, but Gambit will clean up all the same. Apologies, mate. BT, much like my hairline, is garbage. So
I thought you were going to say receding, but
yeah, same thing.
I guess it wouldn't have made sense. For
Well, I guess BT is receding into garbage. I've had like 5 drops now on my internet. It's pretty awesome.
It's actually funny that I'm the one going through, you know, tropical storm weather, and I'm still just cruising, and somehow you're the one having all the issue.
Yeah,
that was
we were worried that you were going to be dropping all the time. Nah.
Yeah, not me. As Mousesports are in dire straits this round, just pistols, no armor. Their economy management has been a little bit questionable so far this game, and just that last round looked a bit sloppy, like Oscar pushing Ivy alone through a smoke and dying, just giving a free advantage to Gambit. They're seeming to have a real shaky start here, and now Gambit, chance to get another free round as Tosia just Goomba stomps a guy in ladder room.
Doesn't seem like I've missed too much here. Mousesports are getting rocked. They won the pistol and everything else has just gone Gambit's way. Damn. I was actually casting Fitch the other day, and he was quite surprising to me. I wasn't sure what to expect from him, but he took more of like an entry role on the T side. I'm not sure if you talked about this so far or not. I don't know if that'll be the case on Train as well, but he actually looked pretty good, I've got to say.
Yeah, I was actually kind of mentioning that despite the fact Gambit didn't really have the online results, missing out on qualifying for some events, even some teams you maybe think they shouldn't lose to, Fitch has been, you know, at least putting up numbers in these games, so it's definitely worth noting. That's a good pick from Oscar. This is finally an early start that Mousesports are going to favor. So we'll see what they can do off the back of that, as they're keeping it slow in default.
One of the new additions, Sunny, just chilling outside of Ivy at the time being. And the other one, Stico's gone down. And it is the man that we just mentioned, Fitch, that drills him with the AK. This does give Gambit food for thought, though. They know they don't have anyone on Ivy sides. They're playing more of a passive role, more centralized on the site, watching the angles. Important frag by Hobbit to open up onto team main, but Rops does get the avenging frag. Smoke goes down in his eyes. It's going to stop him from pushing in the meanwhile. The bomb, however, is actually not under Mousesports' control for the time being, but it will be easily salvageable, as it's going to be Oscar who goes back to pick it up. Still plenty of time to burn, not in any great rush. And it's mainly Sunny that I'm interested in here, because he is just holding the flank. If they end up going towards the B side with the bomb, I expect to see him come out and try and get himself a kill from the backside. Rops is now pushing his way out onto the site. He sees Dozia, gets the spray. And now it's actually going to draw both the Gambit players towards the site for a few moments, but they thought twice about it. They're going to go back through Connector. Oscar's not been able to get the bomb planted just yet. Only 10 seconds left. And it feels like Gambit are completely confused as to what the hell's going on. Finally, Fitch comes out and he gets sprayed from Sunny. And now Mao is last remaining CT. Brilliant shot onto Rops. Overkill to the head. This is asking so much from him. Surely this isn't clutchable now. Judging from the position of Sunny, he's just sat up on top of heaven. Oscar can play bait. And there it is. Mo is going to go down. And Mousesports pick up their second round. Their first one since the pistol.
Really well done from Mousesports. Pretty equal exchange early on, but Sunny being able to get out into Ivy and leaving the outer bomb site as an option was pretty big. And then obviously props to Rops as he put up a great individual effort in the inner bomb site. As you noted, it really caused a lot of confusion for Gambit as he's getting entries in inner, and you're thinking that that might be where the hit's going to come from, but in reality the bomb slipped in to the outer yard. So really well done by Mousesports to maneuver around that 3v3. As you noted, another round goes on the board, but still plenty of money for the CT side.
Plenty of money, indeed, but... Oh, Oscar can count himself lucky that he didn't get outright frag, but he's going to die anyway, all the same to Fitch. Well, his mother put in most damage with the AWP, but Fitch will get the headshot afterwards. And Mousesports, this is very reminiscent to what we saw in Renegades earlier on, Dust, where they were just losing players at the start of each round. It makes it so difficult to come back from that.
It seems so disjointed in this round, too. I mean, it was kind of, you know, one player going out and getting caught, and then there was really no real follow-up, and then a shoulder gets spotted, he gets damaged, and then Fitch just runs him down. So really well played by Gambit to not allow that player to escape and to get an even bigger advantage because of it. And now Mousesports have to play with their backs up against the wall in a 3-on-5. And a critical round because they're going to be reset again if they lose this. And there's players at $0 on their team.
Definitely going to be a rough one. They may be able to get a bomb plant down, however. It's just Dozy that's on the site where Mo is watching from Connector. Now they're going to start to push in. It is going to be the AWP that rains out and Rops falls to the floor. Sticko, this is a time to maybe step up tall, and he wasn't too far off the spray on Hobbit. It's a nice try, but Gambit will take the round all the same. And as you highlighted, Dust, 2 players, $1,400, and Mousesports flat out broke.
Yeah, you can't even really put up a respectable mix buy in this round. I mean, you pretty much just have to take a full Glock save here. And even next round's going to be a bit strained. I mean, sure, Sticko and Oscar will have cash. They can definitely still get the op in Oscar's hands, but you're going to be hard-pressed to find AK armor and utility on the rest of the team. So it's going to limit their options a bit, even going into round number 9. But Fitch is getting free kills right now, getting the spam on the Rops. So much damage in on these Mousesports members. Really limiting their chances to get a bomb plant.
Dozia was robbed of a kill because Gravity took its course on Chris J, but was able to clean up another 2. As anticipated, Mousesports are going to be swept aside, and they could go for a buy here, but as you say, it's not going to be fantastic. I mean, Sticko and Oscar could go for a purchase. I mean, Oscar could even get a glass cannon AWP, but it's more the rest of the team that are going to be struggling, and therefore it's going to be a half buy. So it's not too often on a T side you'll actually see an eco followed by a half buy, but that's pretty much the situation that's at hand for Mousesports. So this is incredibly rough for them, and Gambit will be favourites to take a solid 7-2 lead. Look to try and push their way out of Pop Dog. The flashes and smokes are there to greet them. Going to stave off the push for the time being from Pop Dog, but elsewhere, Team Main has been aggressed on. Sonny's in first, but Rops is going to go down alongside him. Chris J and Sticko come back for kills, but Chris J has also been silenced. And a very quick round, fair enough to Mousesports for getting it over and done quickly, but it will be 7-2, and you're definitely looking at Chris J to step things up. Currently, he's 1-8. That needs to change.
Yeah, really no one stepped up yet for Mousesports, though, to be fair. It's been tough across the board. Again, I feel like they haven't been on the same page in a lot of these rounds. It's been a lot of players kind of making solo efforts and no one really there to trade. And so it's made it a lot easier for Gambit to just kind of pick one off and stall everything out. So hopefully Mousesports can get a bit more coordinated. They actually have never played this map before since Sunny and Sticko came on the team. All their EPL matches leading up to this, which have been only few, did not involve Train. You gotta wonder if the familiarity is there. Oscar does get an opening pick for his team. This is a much better look now for Mouse. They finally have the early advantage to work with.
Yeah, I do feel that Mousesports is definitely a work in progress right now. And who knows, maybe fast forward a few weeks, a couple of months, and they may be a pretty solid unit. But off this basis of the very limited amount of rounds that we've seen, it's looking a little bit precarious right now for them. A decent opening pick by Oscar is going to give them options. Going to spread Gambit out that much thinner. Now they don't have 2 players on B. Most typically been floating around the connector, but now he has to be a bit more A-centric. Ivy's going to get aggressed now. Smoke down. Chris J and Sonny can try and funnel their way through. Adren, though, he knows something's up. He's trying to find a pixel to work off, and tell you what, he wasn't far from being banged out by Oscar there, but instead decides to push through, Fortune favouring the Brave for a couple of moments before he's dispatched. And Mousesports do have the advantage still. They've retained the player advantage from the opening pick. Bomb goes down. Dozia have each other's backs from the Ivy side. They have kits, they have an incendiary, it's possible. But Train A-site retake for CTs is one of the most difficult in any map. If Mousesports play this one solidly, the round will be theirs. And it's just got a whole lot worse for Mo. He dropped the AWP so he could try and make a real go of this with the M4, but he may decide to pick that AWP up and save instead. And this will be Mousesports with the third round. Solid work.
Indeed it was. Again, it all started with Oscar being able to get that opening pick at Ivy, and you could see that Mousesports had a lot of emphasis on Ivy. I think they were playing triple Ivy at the start. And so once they got that pick, they're able to roll out, find a bit more ground, and really just do well to hold off any retake options. I mean, certainly Adren had a chance to make a play. He did get Oscar down, but couldn't find that second kill. Really got held off, and so that is a third round for Mousesports. But again, they need to fear getting reset. That's the big thing. I mean, they did have to rebuy a couple of players that round. Rebuy utility, obviously, on everyone. So there still is that risk factor looming out there that they won't have money to spend if they get another round loss. Looks like they have a different approach to this round. We really haven't seen too many heavy set executes, but this one looks to be that lay at enter. This could be a nice change of pace.
Yeah, the change of pace may catch Gambit napping a little bit. Dozier going to come out second best in that trade, although he did do a chunk of damage to Chris J. It's going to be Fitch who's coming around from the backside, playing the flank from Pop Dog. He's got Oscar down. There's going to be a free kill. Rops also peeking him. At least Rops is going to get the kill in return. There's going to be a couple of words in exchange between the two, I'm sure. 2-on-2 now falls upon us as Mo goes on to Chris J. Throwing up that nade is going to do a bit of chunk damage, and suddenly comes out into the open, and he gets cleaned up. Rops, all that remains, doesn't even have a Molotov to actually throw onto the site. And so he's going to have to go for that peek, and he gets taken down. There's a kit in the hands of Gambit, and they've got this site defused. Mousesports, they really should be converting from that position.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you get the opening kill on the Dozier pretty clean. They got the deep smokes on Z, so they gave them a lot of room to work with, actually being able to push deep into the inner sight and really kind of get in Gambit's faces and cut off rotates, and again, just have more post-plant position options at their disposal. But, I mean, Gambit just able to kind of weather the storm, able to find some big frags and make the retake happen. And again, the consequences are that Mousesports are right back into a situation where they couldn't really full buy in this round, so they have to take a midway approach. They'll still be able to full buy next round. They're trying for another bomb plant here, but Fitch is getting through the smokes and disrupting things, and that bomb can't really make its way in now.
I've got to say, I love Fitch's decision to actually pop flash and push the smoke. Playing aggressive, totally demolished Mousesports. Now, Sunny, 1-on-5. Not the first D, but that's going to be it. Fitch with another one. Continues to impress as far as I'm concerned. He's 12-6, but Mo has been the main man, 15-4.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about Gambit is with Train being such a big map for them, again, they won it twice at the Major against the Strauss and Immortals to win the title, and it's just been a map they added to their pool alongside obviously being a really big cobblestone and overpass team, is that their CT positions are basically the same. Like, they haven't been disrupted in that way, so the comfort's still there. Like, Fitch is pretty much just slotted into Zeus's old spot, and everyone else is basically doing what they've done before. So I think that really adds a lot, but here we do see Mousesports again trying to pick up the pace out of it. It's so hard with all that utility in their face, but Sunny is breaking through.
Yeah, they only have one flash to play with now, though. The utility has dried up. The well is no longer giving Mousesports a chance. Sunny's dead next. It's going to be down to Oscar, you have to feel. He got a nice pick to start things off. He's only got 5 kills, but, well, it feels like they've all been very impactful, and there's another one. This time it's Dozier that falls down. Adren out in the open, and Oscar capitalizes for his third. Mo's still alive, albeit very low on health. Just 3 left. The bomb's going to get planted all the same. A battle of the Orpas plus Rops. Is there any conceivable way that Mo can clutch this? Oscar seems to know exactly where he's coming from. He hasn't budged an inch. And as soon as Mo comes round the corner, he's going to go down. Exquisite round by Oscar. He single-handedly won that. 4 big picks for Mousesports. And, you know, if they can end this in winning ways, 9-6 is not a bad half at all on the T side.
No, certainly not. It would be great for them to try to at least get a little bit more out of this half. It's been a tough ride all the way through. They've never streaked together even 2 rounds. It's always been kind of one here and there, a lot of economy resets. It's really made things difficult. It's been an uphill climb really all half long. Great effort from Oscar. He really did just kind of put the team on the back that round. as things were getting a bit sloppy at the beginning. So that and some of those incendiaries and such are really making that fast outer play a lot more difficult on Mouse. But Oscar's op breaks through with a little help from Sunny. But Hobbit has that double AWP for Gambit. Again, you can sometimes see a Drin with it, but this time it'll be Hobbit playing over towards Ivy. He gets the kill. They're going to do a jump boost to get Chris J the AWP back safely, not knowing that Hobbit had already given up the position. But again, Mousesports has really struggled to do much on rounds just like this one. Every round that they've suffered an early pick and they've gone 4-on-5, they haven't recovered.
Well, Rops couldn't have made that much easier for Fitch, honestly, all things considered. He saw him coming from a mile away. Just had to point and click, and that was all she wrote. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Typically, the rounds that Mousesports have been competitive in, they've got the opening pick, or they've at least traded the first kill out. A free kill across the Gambit is basically GG as far as this round's concerned. Sunny and Sticko, the new additions to Mousesports. Let's see if they've got some kind of cohesion between the two of them. Haven't really got a chance in this, and it's going to be a flawless clean sweep by Gambit. Losing minimal health, all 5 players left alive, and Mousesports now, last round of the half, we'll see a couple players around $1,400. So they're going to have an AK, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, their economy has been a lot of mess throughout this half, that's for sure. Again, they've never even won 2 rounds in a row. Never really found their footing in this half, just fitting in through individual plays, it feels like, here and there. Gambit are at double digits. Mo looking to get aggressive again to enter with EWP. He even sits in the fire long enough to find that one frag. Does take considerable damage, but again, we've never seen Mouse recover from a 4-on-5. So the impact may be justified by that damage.
Oh, certainly. Very ballsy play. Could have easily backfired, but worked out. Hobbit. Oh my god. That was really not far off landing the shot there.
I think it did land, just didn't do enough damage. He's at 41 HP.
Damn. Ops is up, bruh. Give me a bit of slack here. I'm getting pasted through walls. Mousesports seemingly out of ideas. Oh my god, now it's Sticko's. He's just been nailed through the wall as well. It's got to feel pretty awful. You're already getting bodied on the map, and now you're getting smashed by random wall shots. And Fitch steps up, delivers 2 fatal blows with the AK. Both of them were actually tagged up earlier from Mo's wall banging. And now Sunny, the Finn, here to try and clutch. Hobbit is going to take him down. 11-4 solid half from Gambit.
Yeah, it doesn't really get much better than that, especially considering that they lost Pistol. They still come up with 11 rounds, including several resets to Mouse. So, really dominant stuff. Again, Fitch, this is his LAN debut for the team. We talked about how online he's done pretty decent. Looks really good here on the CT side against Mousesports. Mo, obviously, also really big with the AWP. And again, I think they just won the key rounds. Like, the most damaging ones went to Gambit. Really good at getting opening picks and just winning off of 5-on-4s. Mousesports, it felt like they struggled to have a game plan after they went down a man. Again, a lot of their plays looked really disjointed. A lot of things looked really sketchy, like just slowly walking down ladder, for instance, or like a solo push out T-Con and he gets caught and there's no real follow-up. And then in that last round, yeah, sure, it's the last round, you don't really have guns, but again, it just felt like they kind of lingered around and then went for like this really kind of this disjointed attack. I mean, I don't really know how else to describe it. It just didn't really seem like they had a whole lot to show us on their T-side train. Hopefully the CT side will fare better. Again, we know they've been through a drastic change, so you can't expect a whole hell of a lot out of them already.
Do you think it's a fair comment to say that the way we just saw Mousesports play on the T-side was quite reminiscent to Renegades? There's definitely a lot of similarities, in my mind at least.
Yeah, struggle from similar problems, suffering early picks and not really having a plan.
I'll have to see if their CT side shapes up. Of course, they win this pistol. It's game back on again. They can convert. Seeing teams come back from worse deficits than this on their CT side of train, that's for sure. Less tactics required in the CT side, honestly, in maps like this. But can they get the all-important W? For the time being, Gambit aren't really giving them anything to work off. They're playing this one very slowly. Knocking out the windows. Doesn't really tell Mousesports anything. Looks like we are going to see a B hit, though. They would have smoking 2 flashes to toss over. And Dozier is about to pull the pin and get this round underway. They're watching out for the flank. Hobbit's looking back up towards where they just came from. But here comes the smoke, here come the flashes, and here comes the push. Oscar on top of the train. He's going to deliver the first headshot onto Hobbit. He's getting chased down by Fitch. He's going right up close and personal with that Glock. This is something we'll see him do a lot in the future rounds as well on the entry. The bomb still hasn't been planted, but it will be momentarily. Rops is going to consider himself in this round with a headshot. And although Rops and Sticko are fairly low, they do have the player advantage. Not for too much longer, though. Mo's going to go in with 2, and he could be hungry on the prowl for another one. Sonny's just up on the train. He's going to be able to bag himself that frag alongside Dozier, and Gambit have done it, and that is a massive lifeline taken away, unplugged.
Again, I feel like ever since we saw Trick doing this at DreamHack Tour, that we commentated earlier this year, I see every team now has basically done away with doing the up-close smoke on Pop Dog, and everyone's been looking to do it at the deep smokes on Z Connector. And again, it just gives you so much more room to work the site. As a terrorist, you saw Fitch just kind of taking the up-front position, getting a kill, setting up Mo to play behind Z Connector train and have chances to take close battles with the Glock, especially since, you know, taking range fights with USP is just so disadvantageous. So making sure you're going to be able to get up close on Z with Glocks is so big. And Gambit pull it off. They're up 12-4. Double scout here for Mousesports. There's armor behind Chris J's, but not Rops. P250 5-7 on Sunny and Oscar. Sticko also with the P250 and armor. Again, Gambit looking to go enter. They do the shallow smoke this time around. A quick flank comes in, but Adren catches it right away and farms some cash.
Yeah, with that bomb planted, it's difficult to foresee a way that Mousesports get back into this round. They've got 2 scouts, not really the weapon that springs to mind when you think of retaking a site, but making it work for the time being. Maybe Gambit's best choice here is to just stay in. They've got the MAC-10, they've got the AK. If it comes to long-range confrontations, though, they're going to get popped, and Rock's going to land himself a headshot, and there's Chris J. Gambit, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think, to be fair, I think Fitch just got really unfortunate. I mean, you're just kind of jiggle peeking out with an AK and he gets caught. I do think he did swing a bit too wide. I think if he just would have done a quick jiggle peek, he would have maybe not gotten hit and got the information that there was a scout perched up, excuse me. So, yeah, swinging wide definitely did hurt there. But as you noted, when you're retaking with 2 scouts, that can just be so difficult. But I think that kill onto Fitch was kind of the key one. It really helped open up Mousesports to have a bigger man advantage and have the time to start hunting things down. And now they get the nade stack onto Adren. Gambit not looking to force buy back, though. They're taking a very conservative approach here.
Yeah, I think that's just purely off the basis of them being so far ahead in terms of rounds. They don't want to give Mousesports more of a spree after force buying. They know they've got a nice buffer of rounds. Even after this one, they've got 6 rounds to play with, ultimately, until we get to equality. Any weapons they can take away from Mousesports from here on out is a nice bonus. They're going to have a buy themselves, Gambit, next round, regardless of what happens here. It could even include an AWP, actually. Got a couple players who are not far off the $3,000 mark. If they get the bomb plant, it's going to be all the better for it. And Dozier is going to get the bomb planted. Nade's going to be raining in. Oh, that nade did 84 damage. Lands on his face. He's able to get one. Not a bad effort by Gambit. And now they're going to be able to come back with a healthy, hearty buy in round 19.
Absolutely. Getting that bomb plant just gives them that extra bit of cash to work with, and they didn't invest really anything into getting this bomb plant. Again, they took a very conservative approach, so this has even more impact because of that. There was no money spent, really, so they'll have a nice full buy in this round. They still don't go for an AWP, though. They're actually going for full AKs and full nade sets, so even Mo... Well, I had the AWP. This is even a team that sometimes would throw double op with Adren. So, yeah. Looking for the rifles. They have a lot of inner executes they like to run, at least when Zeus was still in game leading the team. Sometimes just very simple ones, sometimes more elaborate. They really did favor hitting inner. Some games I'd see them hit it like 80% of the half. So I know that they have that in their playbook, but they also could just do standard outer stuff as well. And you do see some utility pouring out here, but they're not quite following it up right away. So they're just kind of maybe trying to bait some utility out of Mousesports by throwing some smokes down at outer. They've done that goal. And now they're actually just kind of working back into more of a default, just getting some inner halls control. Hobbit's lining up a smoke for outer yards. They still could split this outer bomb site. Do see the maybe wall of smokes in the bomb train being lined up, actually.
Yeah, it was somewhat surprising because two players had 5,700. They could have afforded more. Meanwhile, Rops going to see action on B. Only good enough for a one-for-one trade for the time being. Adren is definitely putting some question marks into Mousesports' mind now, though, as he just bursts out and gets an entry of his own elsewhere. And Sticko is still on the B site, and he's actually making moves up the site. It's going to be Mo by himself. Hold on a second. This could get really awkward. He actually has a kit as well. Now look where the rest of Gambit are. They think that Sticko's on A. Oh no, Sticko. The nightmare's real. I thought for a second there I could foresee a possibility of a defuse after the one kill and Gambit all being out of position, but no.
You gotta wonder if Sticko could have ever had that read, though, that everyone was gone. Like, he probably doesn't stick it. Like, that would have been, like, just a crazy call to stick it if he gets the kill. So, but I do get what you mean. That certainly was a risk there. There's no doubt about that. But that was definitely a really cool round from Gambit. You could kind of see a bit of a double fake going on, because they threw some utility outer, didn't really hit it. They baited some utility out of Mousesports. Then they redo utility on the A-bomb site. Now, you know, Mouse is really feeling it, and then they send two out upper and inner, and they actually get like a 2-for-1 trade in the inner bomb site. And then they had this weird situation where basically they're getting 2-on-2 battles, an outer and an inner at the same exact time. And I feel like they could go either way with the bomb at that point. And Adren did get a kill on outer, but they still maintain inner control. So they went ahead and swayed the bomb back over. So that was definitely a round where they did a lot of tricky stuff, and they left their options open still, actually. That's actually a cool little round maybe to analyze in the future, for those of you content creators out there.
Oh, this round, Mousesports, they are backs against the wall right now. They've gone for a force, including 2 pistols. They have got the first kill on some box control. That was an awkward spray, but Fitch gets it to stick eventually. Adren goes on Chris J. Both of them very important kills. Oscar now, they've got a feel for him. The flashbang wrecks him, and he's got the knock on E-box. Not really the perfect position for the sniper rifle. And the rest of his team are dropping like flies. Rops, 5-7. Could maybe get the kill on Fitch. Not going to happen now, though, because Hobbit laid in wait. 14-6. Mousesports have toilet economy. And, well, it's looking like Gambit are going to pick up this best of 1.
Yeah, it really does look that way, doesn't it? Did get a little bit dicey there at the very beginning when that first kill came in ladder, but Gambit come back strong with the recovery. Just some god-tier flashbangs, to be honest, like the one up close on Oscar at E-box, and then even getting Rops down as well with the nice flash. So just great utility usage from Gambit to make sure that round went through in their favor, and now they're just a couple away from securing this. Again, a lot on the line on these best of ones, because remember, the tournament format is 2 best of ones and you're done. Lose 2 and you barbecue. You're done. That's it. Lose 2 in Jacuzzi, as Adren used to say. That is what's on the line here. So if you win this game, you're out of that. You don't have to worry about playing today.
Definitely a load off your mind. Just cruising through. Adren does a bunch of damage to Oscar. And Mo will do the rest. Fitch, once again, aggressive. Seems to be his mentality. Sonny's about to get hot and crispy in the pop dog, so he actually smokes himself to stop that being the case, but ultimately, this round has already been laid to rest. It's just whether Mousesports can catch up with the news or not. Rops and Sonny, really no real hopes. Maybe try and save the 5-7 Kevlars. Their economy's so bad that even this would be a solid outcome. Maybe some exit frags, but this is going to put Gambit into 9 match points. They are definitely getting a 15th round. Mousesports will be 15-6 behind. The long climb starts now.
It's been a weird sandwich of games today, hasn't it? We've had a couple of one-sided games, but nestled in between was a nice little North Cloud 9 game that was very fun to watch. Unfortunately, we didn't get to finish it. But yeah, other than that, has been some one-sided affairs today. At least on this stream. I know that it was also some one-sided games over the other stream as well. I know Navi had their way with VP 16-4. A good debut for them. We'll get you some more Scar updates for the rest of those games as well if you're curious. Oh, baby, please. Give it to me.
Really wasn't far off. It was a couple of millimeters away. It's really up to Mousesports here if they want to play aggressive or not. When you have 2 pistols as a scout, and you get an itchy trigger finger, and you want to try and make plays. Sunny with a FAMAS. Oh, that nade. And a second one. Didn't actually hit Sunny at all. I thought that could have even threatened his life, but managed to just about dive out the way. Still, 2 nades for 50 damage, definitely worth. Flashbang is pixel perfect, and Fitch right out. You can sense blood. Beautiful shot by Chris J with the scout. But it's only going to yield him 1, and that's not good enough. Especially considering that Mousesports have already had 3 players drop now. Make it 4. And now all ROPs, and it's not going to happen. Gambit, clear-cut, emphatic victory over Mousesports. 16-6, swipe them away. Maneuver through into a pretty solid position in their group.
And there was a lot of question marks surrounding both these teams coming into the tournament. Mousesports with the drastic changes of Sunny and Sticko coming in, and then Gambit being the major champions, but then immediately having a huge change, losing their in-game leader, and then having some tough times online in the direct aftermath. But they show up today, and they come up big against Mousesports. No problem moving on to the next round and avoiding the elimination matches later on today. Unfortunately for Mousesports, they will not enjoy such luxuries, as they will be in a do-or-die situation later on, as we are halfway through the day here on the B stream. We've got 3 games down, 3 more to go. We got 1 more opening match, and then we have 2 elimination matches to go before we seal the deal here on day 1 of DreamHack Masters Malmö. I'm Dustin. With me has been Vince. Hope you've been enjoying the stream. If you do, follow up on Fire Vince at FollowDust. And we will just take a short break, and when we come back, we will have our next match to commentate, which I don't remember what it is. I'll take a quick look here.
G2 Envy.
Oh, it is G2 Envy. Okay.
Could be another good one.
Definitely spicy. Spicy last opening game to have, especially when you think about the ESO on New York qualifiers. Also, just to give you some updates, on Mortals did beat Fnatic 16-14, so quite a close game over there. Of course, we did have North beating Cloud9 just previous to this, and then again we had Navi beating VP 16-4. So we're starting to get through these groups, and we'll continue on in just a few moments.